All right. I believe we are live. Hello, everyone. Have a great holiday season from us, with Tali overseeing the operations right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new series. As we just finished Master of Magic, it was quite the run to do a marathon at the end in order to finish that campaign. We ended up with success. The 200% difficulty campaign is done. We will see if we come back for the 231 difficulty campaign. But for now, we're going to start a new series once again. It will be a tactical turn-based strategy game called Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunter something else probably. However, Grey Knights. Yes, that's the last subtitle I was missing. So this game is one of the 100 million variations of video games representing Warhammer 40k, which is a ridiculously rich, lore-rich environment to produce an infinite amount of games. In particular, this game is, I would say, the closest to an XCOM game that we've got so far. While Phoenix Point actually tried to go through an alternate route to separate themselves from what XCOM represents, Demon Hunters was like, I can do one better. I can do better XCOM. And I gotta say, on the first impression, on everything I have played so far, the game is full of solid design decisions. They got away with most RNG, at least the way binary RNG used to work in XCOM. They offer all of the information up hand. They offer very interesting mechanics for upgrading units, for dealing with Metalayer problems. They offer interesting events. They offer a super intelligent way to reward loot for players. The lore and the explanation of what's going on is extremely on point. It all makes sense. It fits. It's interesting. It keeps you entertained. You can go deeper into the lore if you care. You can skip the entire lore if you don't care. The game is just full of solid decisions. And I gotta say, at first, it didn't grow on me because a game just based on good ideas or good decisions doesn't always lead to fun. After all, you cannot follow a recipe to always obtain fun, right? It is very subjective. But as it went on and on, I was just really impressed at how all of these good decisions kept piling on. I was drawn to the options and possibilities that the game was offering. So, all in all, as always, I usually run into these games absolutely blind, with the highest difficulty on, with Iron Man on, and I gotta say, I had 2 campaigns that lasted sufficiently long time for me to understand most of the base mechanics and how to elaborate some good theories for the future in case, for example, I wanted to start over and do a good stream about it. So, this series will be probably divided per mission. That's at least what I'm gonna try. And once we start rolling, we will see that the missions pile up pretty fast. So there's a chance that instead of per mission, we do just an episode of as much as I can play, and we recap the different missions then with YouTube editing or something similar to that. However, it's time to dive right in. The tutorial is useful if you want to get a little bit of lore and understanding of what's going on, but it doesn't really teach you all of the mechanics that I'm pretty sure we'll be discussing along the way. Also, I think I'm gonna skip... No, you know what? We're gonna let the cutscenes play. So what you should know so far is that in the tutorial, our old leader...
Okay. Dominus, who is this interloper?
Code scrapings indicate an inquisitorial transmission.
Baleful edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
Any game that calls me Commander has my immediate love. So, to put us into context, what we have so far is that in a campaign against the devil, evil god of typical Warhammer chaos, the previous leader of this vessel that we are now controlling was killed in action, but defending us all and defeating and vanquishing the evil thing, or the chaos thing in this case, the warp. As such, we are then deemed the next successor of the Grey Knight's vessel, the Dominus, and as is our duty, we are supposed to return to Titan to replenish, repair the ship, and go on the next campaign that the Grey Knight Grandmaster would assign to us. However, we are interrupted by the Inquisitor, which is not the same branch as the Grey Knights, but they still hold some form of camaraderie or partnership.
Emperor, I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The tech priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My destination is Koromar Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Koromar, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Koromar Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
So within the ranks of the whole Imperium, the Inquisitor is able to commandeer our ship and our help in order to stop what is an astropathic message, something within the lore of Warhammer 40k that is more akin to astrology. But as you know, magical beliefs in Warhammer 40k all tend to be true in some form or another. So you cannot simply ignore an astropath and call it a lie. The engine seer, Lunette, the mechanical looking thing, is of course a being of pure logical entity, kind of like a cyborg, I think you could say. Very hard to describe Warhammer lore, and is very skeptical of everything that is thrown around. However, she understands things as they happen and must obey. Her role in this is to try to keep all machines that serve the Emperor safe, so she's more worried about the ship than anything else. However, she's still here to help us on our side. Mission. I'm gonna talk about those possible rewards or information later, but for now we're gonna go with the first mission. This is similar to Gatecrasher, that it will always be the same.
Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded.
Oh, I left the mouse on the center. Alright. You can see now the deployment screen. This screams XCOM in every single possible way. If any of you is interested in showing up in the campaign, let me know so that we can rename the units. You can, of course, edit all of their information in order to fit how you're playing. There is more. Now that we have access to our first 4 units, we can change their loadout, we can change their weapons, melee weapons, and the Grey Knights also have classes in this game. I think they do in Warhammer anyway. But what used to be just a unit that wields a sword and some light gun now has different classes, similar to what you would expect from an XCOM game. And this is pretty much where the similarities start to differ. The classes in this game grow in trees instead of being static linear. So I will have to choose if I want to go to the left, to the right, and to access the corners where most of the powerful things reside. In the case of Justicars, they are usually more armored than other targets, so you can think of them as tanks, you can think of them as support, you can think of them as many others. Purgators in general use heavy weaponry. They don't get to use a melee weapon because their weapons are two-handed. So they have benefits to shots and other topics like this. Interceptor is the closest to a melee attacker that you can imagine. They also have the ability to teleport, which makes them absolutely ridiculous in closing distances. And the Apothecary, well, it's self-explanatory with its name. It can heal in general, and it also has some special skills that allow to give everyone great support with Biomancies, as it's called. It's just a buff. So, we get our classes. Because of the tutorial, Ulrich is actually the only one who survived the first campaign's battle, so the tutorial. And you get to upgrade him to level 2. But there's something else that I will have to check, and I guess I'll use it to explain to everyone else at the start, which is that each knight individually gets a different type of unique talent. In the case of all Justicars, everyone gets +1 armor when they use Aegis Shield ability. We'll go into that later. It's basically hunker down if you want. But then, as you see below, this knight in particular has more crit when attacking mechanical enemies. Actually, that's pretty useless because of the role that I want to give that character, but it doesn't matter. The important ones will be the Purgator and the Interceptor. Let's see what we got with them. This knight gets +1 use for their equipped servo skulls. That is so ridiculously strong that I hope one day I get to show you why that is so strong. Next up, we got the Interceptor, and he is +10% crit to all melee and range when attacking organic enemies. This is actually pretty good. Most enemies that we meet are actually organic, even though they wear armor or no armor. It may be surprising, but organic is most of the time the best target to be fighting at. So that is great. And then finally we have the Apothecary, and he gets +3 range for the Stormbolter. Okay, that is new, but I've never seen it. But that is decent. Other than that, each knight begins with 2 of its surrounding starting areas selected. In this case, we'll be having an extra bleed. Bleed is not really good in this game. At least I haven't found a use yet. For him, we get the teleport. That is perfectly fine. For him, we get armor piercing. Also not good. And willpower. Okay, in any case, we won't even be able to experience this because we will be using heavy weapons. So we cannot even use that special attack. I prefer the Silencer. As a baseline, you always get infinite copies of every base weapon or every base item that you obtain. Only specialized weapons, or what's called master crafted, basically if they have something here that is different than an eagle, Those are unique. You have to get one per person you equip. Because of a DLC that I cannot turn off, we actually start with 2 greater quality weapons. But we're not gonna use them. I just don't like this extra oomph that you can get at the start by equipping super special weapons. So we're gonna ignore their existence as for now. Alright. There is a bit of configuration to be done. I would like to change this to a hammer. Here we go. And I would like to change this to a dual blade. There we go. Dual blades are better at crits, and the hammer is better at using force strikes. This is basically a little bit of a spell. And there's one more thing I need to do, which is give abilities to this person. So we're gonna go with Honor the Chapter. Honor the Chapter allows me to give someone else 1 action point. I think XCOM has a lot of equivalent abilities like this. Alright. Let's go into the first mission. I feel like I've been speaking for 20 minutes before we even got to the action. But sometimes that's a lot of explanations to be done, especially if we're gonna skip the tutorial. Alright. The way this game works is that all of your units start every turn with 3 action points. And they work very similar to XCOM. And I love already that, you know, it could have been any amount of action points. They could have also done things with 2.
Have your men look for signs of this plague.
Be vigilant, brothers.
But by giving them 3, it's just like saying more than XCOM. And I love this tiny little bit of a jab or a smart decision on how to do it. As you can see, it follows similar patterns to XCOM. As long as you can move, the circle extends, telling you how many action points you will be consuming to move into that distance. You can also make waypoints to make sure that they don't walk into an enemy crossfire or some other evil thing. What is different than in XCOM is that shooting doesn't actually end your turn, and if you do not move, you can shoot all your 3 AP into an enemy. So that is pretty cool. The second thing that you will notice that is similar to XCOM with a slight variation is that enemies exist in patrols, but Grey Knights have warp sight, which allows them to see if within a certain, let's call it radio distance, an enemy patrol could be found. This is actually great because it moves the game forward while still giving you the opportunity to not get surprised. In XCOM, or at least in XCOM first remake, so XCOM 1 Enemy Within, or Enemy Unknown, because there was no timer, people used to move like square by square almost sometimes, trying to spot the patrols on Overwatch so that they would get hit. That's not a thing in this game. Setting up an Overwatch and ending the turn is actually not a useful way to end your turn. What happens as soon as you trigger an enemy encounter, which I guess we will do next turn, is that they all get this typical scramble animation like in XCOM. However, right after, you get all... Oh, well, now it's gonna happen. You get all of your action points back. The turn has not ended, right? So this, if you have a buff, it doesn't run the buff. If you have a debuff, it doesn't run the debuff. But what has happened now is that all of my people got 3 action points back. It's a little bit of a shame that I didn't get all of my units to move together forward. That was my mistake because I moved this guy closer than anyone else ever was. It's a classic rookie mistake. But we are Space Marines. We are strong even in this situation. So it's not really a bad mistake to have put myself in this situation. Second important thing to share is your units, all of your units, have something called willpower. You can easily call this the mana of the game, and mana is used for a lot of things. Normal thing number 1, you can aim at someone and activate a special oomph ability. In some guns, this means that you disrupt. For example, removing all overwatches or what's called autos in this game, reaction shots or dodging and so on. In others, it's just simply +1 damage. And as the game progresses, activating these things may have more meanings, you may have more abilities related to them. The second one is, of course, gun abilities. Usually there's something extra that you can do with guns. In the case of the Psylancer that we equipped, it's to have an AoE cone attack. This deals a really good amount of damage, depending on how much ammo we still have remaining in the magazine, but then it depletes all ammo. And this one costs action points, willpower, and all your ammo. And as we go on with the game, we will be unlocking also more and more abilities to use. So the question now is, how do we kill these units? Smart thing number 28 that this game offers. Pay attention to your surroundings, because there may be something to do with it. In this particular case, there is a crate of explosives, or actually, let's call them unstable elements, ready to be shot at this place. And every time you check for something like this, you'll be able to see if you are in danger of being exploded, or if you can use the terrain to beat the opponent with it. So right click is cancel. I now know that there is a way to blow up these two people and hurt them severely. And if you look here, maps in XCOM usually are confined to cities, or maybe if there's a cliff, there's a side, but they don't have a lot of knockback. So usually when you get knockback, maybe out of a roof you take some damage if you fall down, but there's no precipice. If we manage to push this person off, he would just simply die. There's just no question behind it. You blew them up, you threw them off a cliff, and they will die. So I hope we get to showcase this correctly, but that's exactly what I want to do now. I'm gonna get here, and my god, I need to keep explaining all of these cool things. The smart thing 73 that this game offers is that as soon as you offer a new location to move into, it would tell you, standing from that spot, how much damage you would deal on each opponent by this number that shows up right next to them. So if I move here, I can hit this guy for 2, this guy for 1, and this guy for 1. Right? Yeah. And the guy behind high cover, I just cannot hit. It's telling me right away, you can see the person, but you cannot deal any damage to it. As you can see, it says literally 2. There is no chance to hit. This is a godsend, this is a blessing. Smart thing number 1, this is the one I love the most. You can consider the defeat of each enemy as a progress bar that you eventually will complete. If you keep shooting at it, it will die, as long as you know that you're dealing damage to it. The cool thing about this is, this lets you plan your turns and know that, for example, if none of your attacks do anything special, you're just not able to kill everyone. It's a little bit trickier to see right away, but over time, with practice, you will know the capabilities of your knights and understand, like, okay, maybe I need to put some oomph into this, maybe I need to prepare an AoE attack. For example, I've been considering, what if after I blow up the container here, I can set myself here and then use the cone AoE to try to hit all 3. Maybe that's a possibility. I will keep on thinking on what we can do, but it all will start with this guy getting to the front lines, this guy getting over here, and then opening up this location. That is unlucky. So this guy over here actually survived because he fell down, got really damaged, but did not fall off the precipice. So fun interaction, but not dead. Follow up, we could move all the way to here. And another smart thing that this game tells us, if you read the tooltip, you will know exactly what you need to know. In this case, is target a spread attack over an arc of 45 degrees over a range of 7. So if we were to stand here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't even need to go that far. think I can stay here. But if we go here, we would hit this guy for 0, which means he is in high cover compared to this location. I don't think we can even hit it if we go here either. Okay, I have a plan. I don't know if it will work out, but I do have one.
My blade is ever
We'll grab our heavy guy and try to drop a grenade so perfect that it will toss that guy to the center. We get some cinematic action. Bam. So now he's in cover, but it doesn't matter. I believe this says ignore half cover. Excellent. Alright, so we know we can go here. Here. And do corner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I want to risk it? No, I don't. So I'm gonna get 100% sure in range. And look at that. Every calculation worked out exactly as predicted, and we will deal a ton of damage to that, to those two, and the center guy will get severely damaged anyway. Now, willpower, which we're using right now, the sound sometimes super loud, is limited, right? Like we saw, we have 5 power to begin with, and I guess I cannot show it right now. Yes, I can. We are still at 5. That's because if your action kills an enemy, a non-spawned enemy, it will grant 1 willpower back to you. You cannot kill 20 and get 20 back, you only get 1, but it's still good enough to know that that is an interaction that works. Finally, we can teleport our long distance guy here. And now we have a few choices. We can bring him here. Actually, I can shoot at both of them here. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Okay, let's do that. So we can either hit you for 2 and with Psybolt 3, which is not enough, or we can kill the guy down here. What shall we do? We only have these 2 guys as act. So we can kill the guy here by using both people's turns. Or so he wants 4. Give myself an extra turn. This guy has no ammunition right now, so that's a problem.
Yes, Commander.
Alright. Oh, we cannot deal any damage to this guy. Okay, that simplifies my equation.
Unleash.
In that case, we are gonna buff with Honor the Chapter to my sword guy so that he has +1 action point. And with that, he should be even able to do a melee attack. We're gonna keep him back here. Melee attack, force strike, save the ammunition, and kill. I kinda want... Oh, okay. He decided to run away. I would have wanted to show the effects of killing your opponent as an alpha strike, but we won't be able to do that just now. However, when combat ends, just like on the transformation into combat mode, all of your units reload and get 3 action points back. So before you literally end combat, it is obviously a smart idea to get everyone back close. And once again, just like before, it does not end the turn, which means if you put a buff on someone, then you pull a patrol, kill everyone in the patrol, and then end the combat, you will have your action points once again, and your buff did not run out. That is pretty intense, but that's how the game works. So, we kill the enemy is destroyed, and now we are able to move again. However, we already spotted where the next patrol could be, So I am once again going to be moving slowly forward. Whomever is in the back, immediately triggered with the guy that was on the back to go forward.
Wait, that creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
Unleash me.
Alright, so we have found our target, and they have all clamped up as my favorite enemies.
We strive.
So let's get ourselves here and see if we can blow them all forward. That would be best. I don't think we can put everyone forward, but we can throw these guys towards the others, and I like that. Boop. Perfect. Now all we gotta do is bring our Purgator over here. Range 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think over here should work out. See if we're lucky. Alright. Beautiful. Bring it home, Purgator.
I will need to examine this corpse and...
I will not tolerate this contamination spreading to my servitors.
Do not obstruct me, Tech Priest. I will follow proper protocols. A satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
Alright. So Gatecrasher is complete. As you can see, something that is very different to XCOM. Your units are strong, and they start strong. Then yes, you only get stronger, but the whole complexity of the enemies also gets stronger. And because you can consider your enemies a progress bar, then them getting more health just means that you need to prepare better your strategies. I do like that, because an easy starting situation makes it easier to restart campaigns. And what used to happen is sometimes you would have a terrible Gatecrasher and you would just have to start over the whole campaign of XCOM 2. But hey, now we are back. Okay, let's see if anyone else levels up. Nope, no levels, only 2 patrols. That was too little. Welcome to the Metalayer. We will have, for now, a star map of unknown situation. A barracks, where we can also talk to one of the characters if we want more lore. Base construction, if you would like to consider it such, with currently the most basic one necessary for anything else to be worked on already going on. And then the most basic research, where we are analyzing the corpse of the person we just got. So we are doing a necropsy, which is just a fancy word for autopsy. Our only option right now is to pass time. And as we do so, we will have the plasma reactor repaired, which would allow our ship to move once again. Not without a cutscene first.
The Dominus has restored the star map to its full function.
The way that's actually the real game's maps.
Scanning data
Changes per
scrapings from across
campaign.
the sector. This plague appears to have already spread its tendrils far and wide. We are faced with reports of 2 infected systems. We should monitor this infestation carefully and judge where best to direct our forces while the Inquisitor pursues her answers. Failure will cost many souls.
So the systems that are initially infected may change. I'm not entirely sure of that yet. And we can start a new project. So what we're gonna do is restore the servitor bay, I believe. Yeah, Augurium. Ah, Augurium is pretty good. Yeah, let's go with the Augurium for now. And now we can look at the worldscape. Yeah, I actually cannot tell if it's different than what I had last time. But yeah, we can see right now that there is a progress indicator for every star system. Most of them are currently at 0. You could easily consider this the panic of XCOM 1. If a place reaches 5, then there will be one extra mission, and if you don't attend to that one, something bad will happen. What's good about this is that as the disease progresses, you're able to complete missions in that planet to lower the currently growing corruption back down. And that's one of the cool things. You can rescue systems as long as they haven't been lost permanently. The other thing that we will see is that when we get missions, they will have a time component attached to it, which means the position in which we wait for missions to happen is very relevant, and the order in which we take them, if possible to take multiple, is also equally important. They can, as default, never happen on your system. So for example, if we stand here, we may get a mission in any of these other 6 surrounding sectors, but it won't happen on this one itself. If we go here, in order to have the possibility to add this as one of the spawning chances, we run the risk that it spawns in like these 2, and we just cannot make it to either of them. Maybe just one of them, if lucky. So the smart situation is always to pose yourself somewhat in a safe position, center position, to make sure that you can reach as many as possible if you get good spawns, reach one for sure if you have bad spawns, and reach one of the worst corrupted systems if you know that there's a good chance that it gets attacked. Right now we're gonna wait here, and the other thing we're gonna do is check in the settings, because I do not want to see... Oh, it's totally correct. Ship events literally are showing you the ship moving in and out, and I find that supremely annoying. It wastes us a lot of time. Alright, let's pass some time. And oh, surprise! Missions! 16. There we go. 3 new eruptions.
Commander, our prognosticators have detected this bloom in 3 separate systems.
Okay.
We should examine one of them.
And now we can see exactly what we were talking about. They exist in the literally most opposite corners for me, so for sure we cannot get them all. If we are lucky, we can get 2. But the tutorial wants me to click on one of these. Okay. Alright, so if we go in this direction right now, we can make it. If we go in this direction right now, we even have some extra time. And obviously if we go to this one, we have some decent time left over. My guess is that we won't be able to grab 2. I think the closest would be to go north now and then all the way back to here. I think this is too distant. But I am pretty sure that we'll be just short of grabbing 2 missions. So let's make sure that whichever we look into, we are interested in the rewards. And for now, rewards are extremely reduced. We have no access to the armory, which we will talk about a few missions, I guess. And we would get 10 servitors, which are basically not money, engineers. Let's go with engineers. I think that's the best way to explain it. But engineers in this game are consumable, and that's the difference. Maybe Elerium. Elerium actually makes more sense. Yeah. So we get 10 servitors there, 10 servitors over there, and a grimoire, which counts as a researcher. So this means that a grimoire is a scientist, an XCOM equivalent. So, because we don't have really many options, we're gonna go for this mission over here. And we're gonna just worry about this particular mission right now. Do we want to change any gear?
The brothers of Titan stand ready.
Actually, kinda yeah. The Purgator, yes, would equip servo skulls and have extra ammunition. Basically what this means is that on consumables that would normally have 1, they have 2, that means double the use. This is a ranged medkit that costs no action point to use. It is pretty great. Servo skulls in general are pretty good. So I'm very happy that we have someone that can use multiples. We'll keep the apothecary around, of course, but in this case we now have 2 things that can heal. What's important, the skull can purify in case we get debuffs. So let's go in, see what we meet.
The psychic disturbances here echo those I encountered on Koromar.
The hive cities are abandoned, but there is life below. Brothers, seek out any corruption and purge it.
Purge the Xenos.
What is your will?
Alright. We don't get any information of where the enemy is. In that case, let's go little by little.
Haste. Guns off. Ready for battle.
Now we got 1 contact. I think in I was gonna say Warcraft lore. In Warhammer lore, they call this Raider blips. So I'm gonna call them blips from now on.
Haste.
Does it even say here? That would be great. No, enemy patrol.
Storm. As ordered.
Blips or MIPS? I am not entirely sure, but I'm sure someone would correct me if I get them too wrong. Alright.
My blade.
So, if I move this unit, we will trigger the action. So, I want to move them last before I trigger. We'll put you here.
At once.
Yeah, good.
Your command.
We'll put you here.
Affirmative.
Ah, we triggered. Okay, that's fair. And look at that. We got the tinies. I really dislike this enemy. It's honestly one of the strongest because of the numbers and that they have ranged weapons.
Identified.
This is how an actual patrol of them looks like, not like the tutorial. So we will have to employ multiple methods in order to deal with them. The first one is that this guy gonna use
Aye, sir.
1 move here, and then we're gonna check what we can do. And here are a few new items for us to use. There is statues we can shoot at, there is a pot of fire that we can drop on enemies, and there is of course a grenade that we can use to push people. Push and damage, both good thing. Before I do, what if I check this? Ah, so it's already hitting 3. Nice. So what we can try instead is, if I hit this in such a cool way that they get tossed closer. If I do this, I may destroy the other statue, and I still want to use that one too. So let's shoot this way. Statue breaks, it falls, it hits the thing, and it pushes it closer to the other guy. And then with a grenade over here, I actually get to hit both. I will deal some knockback, and hopefully I put him in range of the fire pot. That may have worked out. Okay, so I also need you. I'm gonna leave this guy in the open, that's how much confidence I have right now. And yeah, we get to hit all 4. Beautiful.
Your orders?
Finally, we need to take you all the way to here. I hope that's actually enough to hit everyone. We'll see. and AoE like this. We kill 3, live 1, burning but alive. And then finally,
Unleash me.
we're gonna teleport this guy over here.
Gliding through the wall.
And then we're gonna drop this column on this guy over there. This should absolutely break the wall and push this guy back to us. Very nice. Is this enough to kill? Yes. It's enough to kill.
I am the wrath of Xiphos.
Now, sadly, we cannot get to this guy. If I give this guy an extra turn, he won't be able to shoot because he just spent his ammo. If I give this guy an extra turn, I cannot tell. But I know that the gun's range is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we will be in range, but I don't know if we will deal 3 damage. Alternatively, I could just throw a grenade. Do I like that? No. Grenade is too precious. Let's give it a shot. Literally. Cybolt.
Sanctified and purged.
Sanctified and purged, indeed. Okay. So that is group number 1. Let's move on. Everyone gets immediately reloaded, so that's pretty cool.
Find them, Commander.
And that is where the second group
I am
is.
here to serve.
Let's move you forward. I'm gonna try not to trigger them.
Here. What is your will?
There we go.
I am with you.
And this time we're gonna pass the turn. I don't want to trigger them on this same round. If you can imagine, it's still the same round, which means the teleport... Actually, the teleport still works. Okay, that's good to know. But if we had other limitations per turn, this would not be working out. So, regarding timers, there are missions with timers. There are very few. But what really counts as a timer, which I love about this as well, smart decision number 130. For every turn that passes, for every time we use special willpower abilities, and for every time that enemies do certain specific actions, warp search risk increases. Once it reaches 100, or if it would go above 100, at the end of the next enemy turn, the warp search will recede to 0 and something bad will happen. It could be that reinforcements will show up next turn. It could be that enemies get buffs. It could be that your guys get debuffs. It could be that your guns can hold less ammo for the rest of the mission. So you don't have a timer per se, but it will get harder and harder to finish a mission if you take too much time idling. And as the Space Marines would say, idle minds... I forgot how it goes, but there was a cool saying about it. So going slow is not rewarded at all. Especially because you can rarely catch enemies' patrols on an Overwatch trap, which you used to do a lot on XCOM. The way to reveal them is too specific. And I see that they have actually moved. So I think we can take a little bit of more ground here. And find a spot where to fight them soon. Alright. I'm guessing now that they're all holed up here. Go this way. Yeah, there is the patrol. Let's make sure not to advance anyone further than this guy as we move forward. And then we're gonna trigger with the swordsman. There we go. More enemies. Do we have anything cool to do to them this time?
Prepare to engage.
Okay, there is a pillar here that's useful. There's nothing shootable. That's sad.
My blade is
So who has grenades still?
is yours.
You do, but if you shoot the grenades, then you won't be able to do anything else. Okay, we're gonna move you here just to see how far the grenade would reach. I can push people back. I actually like that. This would cancel the overwatch and then put two guys maybe close enough for the pillar. Very good. Ooh, maybe 3 in line?
Unleash me.
Oh, please, please. Nope. Not 3. But 2. So we could kill those 2. We could hurt those 2.
I am here to serve.
Or, my favorite one. Teleport grenade pillar. So teleport here. No, that's too close. Teleport here. Grenade. Does this even work? I doubt that they will end up more in a line than what they are now. I would need to show it like very specifically here. I could also do this though. Maybe that works. You know what? I like that.
We bring death.
Maybe. Maybe it worked. Let's see.
Inflicted.
Pillar. Yes, I saw a pixel. Come on. Ah, so good. Very nice.
As ordered.
Very good.
No demon shall avoid its fate.
Okay, and finally, let's give him one more action. Then we'll see what we do with those. So I can shoot over there for 2 and over there for 3. If I go all the way to here, I can shoot for 4. With Psy, that may be 5. Let's do that.
Moving swiftly.
Very good.
For the golden throne.
Alright, and as always, the most important aspect is to reduce enemy economy. So if you can take things, if you can take units down entirely, that's way more important than almost anything else. Let's go over here, and I'm sure we can deal 3 damage to the guy in the distance. Now I have a few options. The knight that is standing there could try to attack this, try to get a crit, and then try to do something out of it. But the most likely scenario is that I'm gonna get hurt over here. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure what will happen. Guy actually will hurt me a lot. Another option that I have is to try to hide from that guy. At least go into cover, that would be useful. And I doubt they will fire on this guy in the back, because he's in such a bad position. Really, they are very likely to go here and shoot. It doesn't matter. And taking the 6 damage would be a little bit too much. What does this guy do? Autogun. Autogun is fine. So we're gonna go back here. There are many more options that I would have. I could attack in melee to try to trigger an attack of opportunity. That is a thing in this game. Okay, so they focused on the one guy. And I guess he will be hurt.
I sense a massive spike in warp activity below.
It is a warp surge, Inquisitor. Such events are common in pitch battles between Saigers.
And yet your brothers have clearly restrained their powers. Something foul is at work below.
Alright, so this is the explanation for a surge. In this case, what's happening is that the corpses will be revived by the plague unless I do something about it. Which I can do, so that's cool. Alright. So, I could take 2 shots at this guy and make him disappear. That's gonna be action number 1. Then I'm going to use a skull to heal this guy. Since it doesn't cost an action, it's for free. Very good.
My wrath is restored, brother.
And then I could deal 1 damage here, but that's a bit lame.
Orders? Here.
No more grenades, right?
Yes, Commander.
Yeah,
Standing ready. The Emperor lights
Okay.
our path.
I could punch him in the face. That is an effective course of action.
Storm.
I could also teleport, punch him twice, give myself an extra action and punch him again. I could also 2 turns. Deal 3, deal 3. That's also possible.
Command.
I do like starting with the teleport. This makes the first attack only take 2 actions instead of 3. That's a great start. We're gonna use Force Strike every time. And I can show you here, because of course, full information. The 10% to organic chance to crit is actually great. So let's go.
The foe bleeds.
Okay, some enemies have armor, yeah. I guess I didn't explain armor yet, but there will be a better chance to explain. Force Strike. There we go, a crit. Melee crits always have something called precision striking. When you are able to do precision striking, which some ranged attacks can do, you're able to target a part of the enemy and you will deal an extra effect. Crits themselves do not always mean more damage, but in this case, for example, I can literally chop his arm off and he can no longer shoot his weapon. Sorry, sneeze. There we go. So right now I've reduced him to 3, which is really useful. And I guess I could kill him in multiple ways. How do I want to kill him? Can you shoot for 3? No. That's a shame, that would have been great.
My blade is yours.
Alright, what we're gonna do is we are gonna fire around with this guy. Death.
Onward, brothers.
For 2 damage plus Psybolt 3.
All enemies have been cleansed. Good work, Commander.
And because we didn't give an opportunity to the Pox to respawn the bodies, the mission is considered complete. I would have had a trick on how to deal with that situation, that's what I was preparing for, but this was sufficient. Now back to the Metalayer. We get the servitors, and more importantly, we get some levels. Sadly not here, that's what I would have wanted the most. Purgator. Alright, we're gonna get you the most important upgrade for the Purgator in my opinion, that is the 100% crit ability. It costs a lot of mana, basically, but it ensures you that you can crit enemies you need to get crit. This one is a tough one. Where do we start? Obviously, 100% melee crit is pretty powerful. So we're actually gonna go that way first. This already makes us deal 1 more damage with Force Strikes. This makes us deal 1 more damage on a crit. No, sorry, this makes us deal 100% crit. 105% crit, whatever. And then there are upgrades that apply to this ability that give me more crit damage. And if we continue going up here, there will be crit bonuses. And every time, 50% of the time that we crit, we get 1 action point back. So I love going in this direction in the tree. I find it really useful. And actually the Apothecary took no wounds from that. So hey, well tanked, my friend. Well done. Alright, time for the truth. Can we make it to the left? Nope. Can we make it to the right? Nope. And that is the cruel mistress of this game. Now, this planet is going to go to 1 dot, but this one will be accumulating a second one. So even though we will try to get there, we will fail. However, we will remain in the area. Wait. Oh, we may be able to sneak our way into having one more option. Okay, no, the augment chamber is still damaged. Wait, no, that's a different thing. Okay, one thing at a time. Our reparation of the augurium has finished. Does this mean that we get a prognosticar? I don't know, but we will try. In the meantime, we will put the servitor production online, because we need to be creating this every few days.
We have restored functionality to the
That is so good.
And when prognosticators are attuned to a system, they will extend the mission timer in all adjacent systems.
Well, you said it best, Edgar. So if I put him here, for example, this will give us 3 more days in this location as well, and that would allow me to reach the location in time. I'm so happy I started moving. I didn't even process that this was going to happen. I could also put it directly here, and it would also lower the corruption of this planet. So that's pretty cool. But since we're maybe gonna make it in time, I'm gonna plan for here so that I can later situate other great hits, like for example here, and then like here or here. And as you can see, the more you cover precisely, the less waste there is. But since we need to get the corner right now, I'm gonna go for this location. Now let's see, did this work out? Best campaign start ever. And there's a scientist here as a reward, so that's amazing. For sure.
Commander.
And we made it there in time. What a neat trick, I didn't even realize. Alright, we have stronger units. We are ready to go in again. No need to change anything, we only gain some levels.
Why have you led us here, Inquisitor? There is no sign of strife on the comms.
Look more carefully, Knight. The codes used are old, but they are a mark of an active plague cult. Of that, I have no doubt.
If that is true, my brothers will make short work of them.
Right. Then let's see. It's the mission that expands northwest. So let's go.
At once. With haste. There is corruption brooding here.
Right. First encounter is in sight.
On my
So let's
way.
avoid it. Let's avoid triggering it while everyone is still in the distance.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Full background train. Alright, the enemy patrol is still there. And it's kinda annoying that it's upstairs.
Your orders?
So
Seeking
how can we deal with this? Something I could do. I could go this way. There's a door here. If I breach the door, I'll basically be in front of them. Oh yeah, let's go there. Try that.
At once.
I like that idea the most.
What is your will?
So bring you here into this corner. You know what? Let's go slow. Bring you here. Bam!
As you will.
Let's put you there.
With haste.
And let's bring you.
Onward, brothers.
You know what? I'm gonna try
As you will.
to see if my argument against patrol hunting with an Overwatch has any effect. So they came in, they saw the Overwatch, and they dodged it on purpose.
Come at me now.
They put their own Overwatch, and now everything is horrible. So actually, triggering it on your turn is so much better. But hey, we cannot always get what we want. What we did get, though, is a lot of enemies outside of our view. That really sucks. So let's blow this up, but with whom? Maybe with you as you're in the distance?
Moving swiftly.
Won't be able to do a lot more than that. How can you not shoot this place? I am actually a bit surprised that I cannot shoot that.
Your orders?
Okay, that's very annoying. What do I do? I could teleport here, kill him with 2 melee attacks.
My blade.
With Disruptor Shot? No, I actually cannot hit that.
The Emperor lights our path. Ready.
Wow, it all breaks down because that guy cannot hit there. What if I use the Apothecary? He also cannot hit. Let's put him... He cannot shoot from here, then we are more in trouble than before. Okay, that worked. I hope he doesn't break his own cover. And nope, he didn't. Good job.
Blessed are our arms.
Yes, they are blessed indeed. Now I can blast them both like this. Or I could find the position. Range 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. See, so the Overwatch is kinda the same. What if I go here instead? I mean, I already like it as a default first action. And it doesn't reach. I could disrupt, but I think I'm rather gonna go with grenade. But before I do grenade... So grenade is the way to go. But maybe...
Unleash me.
Deal 3 damage. That's annoying.
Yes, Commander. What is your will?
Okay, I'm gonna take one shot at this guy. No, that's pointless. At this guy. I'm gonna accumulate a little bit of damage.
Visit Hollow Arms.
so that we can throw him off with a grenade. Let's make sure that we throw them both. Beautiful throw.
No match for the Emperor's chosen.
So now that they have fallen, I'm checking there are no stairs for them to climb easy. They would need to go up there. So what we can do
Your command.
is set a real Overwatch trap this time.
On my way. I'm here to serve.
So we're gonna put this guy here, I believe.
At once.
And we're gonna guard with him. Maybe I should have put him in the open. Speaking of guard, this comes in handy. The way shields work in this game, by the way, you can guard anywhere, you don't need to hunker down. Cover actually applies a shield, I will talk about it. Shields literally simply count as health. So you're basically replacing... Yeah, that's slightly problematic. Nice. Still good. The way it simply works, it's quite straightforward. As long as you have shields, they get taken out first unless an ability has armor piercing. That's works for you as well as for opponents. So that is the way that just works. Now, is there a magical grenade that hits everyone and makes me very happy? Kinda, yeah. Maybe we dunk the other guy downstairs as well. But do I really want to do this?
Your orders?
And the answer is no. And I want to do this. I want to know who else is there. I know there is more. There we go. That's the last guy. So you are gonna kill these guys somehow. Maybe moving here.
Standing ready. My blade is ever ready. Storm.
Okay, and then you are gonna teleport over there.
With alacrity.
With alacrity.
Sense them near.
Okay, there are more enemies. I don't think I will trigger them here. If I do, I'm a bit in trouble.
Advancing.
Nice. Get the kill. Very good. Get the kill here. We're gonna make this very straightforward. Bonk. Very good bonk. And then we need to kill the one in the back.
The Emperor lights our path.
So I'm gonna do... Oh, I can go here for 4 damage. That's already pretty good.
Moving now.
I can Psybolt and afflict bleed. Also pretty good. And from here I would deal 4 damage. Sadly he has 6 remaining. But I have a trick in my... Under my sleeve? In my sleeve. I have an ace in... When you don't have a melee weapon, you deal 1 damage and knockback. In this case, enough for a kill. And we can ensure a critical strike. With precision targeting. We remove his melee weapon. Sorry, his ranged weapon. Bam. Okay, now have to walk around and punch us for 1 damage. And then bleed to death. I did not remember that that guy was still out there. But the enemies will be getting a reinforcement soon. Okay, I can prepare for this. I'm gonna get myself over here. We're gonna move everyone out, basically. If you overwatch around the corner, your character will literally go around the corner and be considered in a different hex. So be careful when you just click on that.
Unleash me.
And I don't think the patrol is still here, so... maybe I can find a spot which I deal 1 damage to this thing. Or I just throw a grenade. I'm a little bit afraid of going down. I mean, why would I, actually? There's really no hurry.
Unleash me.
And in the meantime, I think I should be using the skulls right now. Oh, you know what could be a good position? Around here. Yeah, that's very nice. Move slowly. Make sure we don't trigger enemies. Very nice. And once again, knowing that I'm gonna deal exactly 1 damage is just so valuable. There's no way around it. I would like to see how many bullets I have still. 1. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Reload.
I have sanctified my rounds.
And then you will also read. Alright, we're ready for those reinforcements.
Affirmative. Foul heresy approaches.
Reinforcements here. And they don't do anything. Right. So I could charge into them and kill 1 or 2 the same way.
Praise the Emperor.
I could... no, that's...
The Emperor lights
I could start with a grenade. Maybe one that tosses them closer to us.
As you will.
And out of cover, hopefully, and not into new cover. Alright, there was an explosive barrel that I forgot about right there, so that's why they blew up. For extra damage. Would like to see you get over here. I can hit for 3 and for 2. That's actually very promising. Take a normal shot. And take a Diebolt shot. With bleed 2, they would be dead at the end of the round, but I think this guy should be able to deal 2 from here.
Yes, sir. No match for the Emperor's.
Okay, so right now I could also just teleport. Teleport, attack once, attack twice, get an extra turn, attack. But I am missing health.
My blade is yours.
And I'm a little bit sad about that.
Storm.
You have 8, you have 9 health. What weapon do you have? Oh, the grenade guy. Okay, that makes me very happy. That makes me feel safe once again. So let's get here. And let me tell you something. Grenade guy can actually not deal direct damage. He puts down a delayed explosion that has a 1-turn timer. And he also puts a very nasty debuff of -1 action point, which is pretty strong in all the situations. But alone, he's basically harmless. Okay, we're gonna start moving the other direction. Yeah, that's the AP reduction, and then he has to reload. As we said, pretty harmless. Okay, so we are about to end combat. Shall we put people together? I guess yes. Nice. Okay, let's end combat. Hey, we got a free crit. And we need a 4th strike to ensure the kill. And there we go. Sadly, we're still pinned. Because, again, the combat has ended, but the turn has not passed. So we're gonna move here. Then, you know what? I should have teleported. Would have made things faster. Let's go here. Let's spoil my brain. Also for the heal. Very nice.
My wrath is restored, brother. On the hunt. Eyes on.
We can move once again. Alright, the bloom is rising once again.
Your orders?
I do like the position that they're in right now. This may make grenadiering a lot easier. No reveal yet.
On my way.
No reveal.
Taking position. Unleash me.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh. I can throw something at them. That's pretty cool. Let's hope they get close enough.
Onward, brothers. Yes, Commander.
Alright. Then we move melee guy closer. Let's see if they see me. They see me. Oh, please, come to me. Come to me. That is so good. Did anyone check the explosives? I did.
Come at me now.
Enemy sighted.
Yeah, indeed. So, first question is, can you, Apothecary,
Praise the Emperor.
praise the Emperor? This is minimal damage. Okay. Purgator, can you reach this? Let's start with that. See where we go from there. Bye bye. Okay, that's 2 death. The bridge is broken though,
What is your will?
which is mildly annoying right now. Get here.
We strive.
Should I teleport? Should I not?
Ha!
If I just shoot, I feel kinda safe. They are on fire. I guess bleeding has a use, and that is when you're not actually gonna spend the turn killing everyone. Let's get ourselves here. I don't want to shield up, because if we do, we... Never mind. We are already triggering. I said nothing. Shields up. Then we're gonna set an Overwatch over here. Just in case. Not that it's gonna do anything. And you... Kinda want you closer already. But you are far. Let's just take a better angle here.
On the hunt.
See what happens. Well, they burn, that's for sure. That's what I was mentioning with the delayed grenade. Will they hit? Nope, just suppress. More people burning, not very smart. And bleeding and burning usually gets you killed. More bleeding. Great, that worked out pretty well. Enemies have buffs when they attack in melee, but they won't get to attack at all. So, can you send a manhole all the way up here? No, that's a shame. But you can do this. That's already pretty cool. Ooh. Cowabunga. Then Purgator. Actually, you know what? Teleport doesn't trigger autos. And this would be an auto, right? We're currently being suppressed. If we were to move, shoot, or do anything else, we would get attacked. But teleport basically gets me out of this situation. And since I'm no longer there, he can no longer attack. But I get to continue acting. So let's punch him twice. And end the mission with that. I feel like I took a few more wounds this time. Oh well, free crit. 40% chance to crit. Very strong.
Good work, Commander.
Alright. What a start. I've never been so precise. I think I will be wounded. But what can you do? This one Grimar is great. No wounds? Wow. My people are strong. Did I start in the correct difficulty? I'm now starting to be afraid. Okay, in any case, the Apothecary got a promotion and we gotta see what we do with him. And there is this ridiculously insane Biomancy that I want to start using. Biomancies are basically an injected buff. I guess you could call it Stimpack. And in this particular case, this one gives me Warp Speed Biomancy, +1 move speed, and +2 crit damage. So all those times I was critting random people, this would have dealt more damage. And with this, it would deal +4. So the question is, do I want +4 or do I want one more move? And the answer is I want +4. +4 damage on a crit is just absolutely insane. Okay. So, necropsy in 3 days. All right, we're gonna end with this. Right now, I am happy that we reached this area over here in order to stop the progression of the plague. We're gonna go back to a central position in the meantime, or at least attempt to. And here we go.
This poxwalker was one of the Imperial faithful, afflicted with a strain of mutagenic virus. There is no doubt you are dealing with the work of the plague god Nurgle. This must be the bloom whispered of in those astropathic fragments. Within the carcass, I found a germ of some ancient power corrupted with a foul psychic resonance. This seed is used to spread the virus. Of that I am certain, but it arrived to me damaged, and there is little else I can learn from it. In order to study how we might fight this plague, I must acquire one of these seeds completely intact. I can instruct your brothers on how to extract these specimens properly. Please ensure they pay attention. The Emperor loathes indolence. Let's not disappoint him.
Alright. So, once again, the classic XCOM thing. Oh wait, there's more.
This is Inquisitor Cartha Vakir of the Ordo Malleus. I am alumnus of Evixia Danica. Access code Clarion, Magenta, 11, 17, 21. I require immediate response from Titan.
This is Grandmaster Vardan Kai responding, Inquisitor. This act borders on heresy. The screams of the astropaths you burned already reverberate through the warp. It is fortunate for you that I am prosecuting a campaign in the nearby Chimera system. I suggest you explain yourself, and quickly.
Grandmaster, I have commandeered the baleful edict. We face...
You have seized a Grey Knight strike cruiser.
As is my right, I have foreseen dire omens for this sector. Already Nurgle's poxwalkers roam free.
Oh, indeed. I'm surprised an agent of your pedigree is not equipped to deal with such lesser threats of chaos. Agravain, perhaps you can clear up this nonsense for me.
My lord, he fell in battle during our last campaign against the Cadium cult. We had been returning to Titan for repairs when this Inquisitor intervened.
Ah, Brother Ektar, that is sorry news. I trust then that you have appointed one of our brothers to act in his stead. Well, speak up then, Commander. What say you to this Inquisitor's story?
Another thing that I already love. I have an actual say during the conversations. So I want to make sure I remain somewhat neutral. I want to discuss the Bloom Seed because it is very true how things are going. Actually, this is the option I have always chosen. This one gives me +1 requisition, which is the money of this game. What happens if I say that I need to return to Titan?
Routine threat? That specimen we collected is proof of something far more foul.
Proof is drawn from hard data, Inquisitor, which you have yet to provide. If this is not a serious outbreak, I am inclined to recall my brothers back to Titan.
Then it seems I must raise this matter with the Lord Inquisitor. The baleful edict will of course have to remain here until we can strike a formal tribunal, which given our current location may well require several months. So unfortunate. I had hoped we might avoid all this tedious bureaucracy.
I suppose the Chamber Militant should not be seen to shirk from its duties, no matter how pitiful. I will leave the edict in your hands for now, and send you what resources I can spare.
You have my thanks, Grandmaster, but there is yet another reason I desired to speak with you. As steward of the Armory of Titan, I had hoped you could release further assistance.
Don't thank me yet. I will give you 60 Tertean solar days to prove this threat warrants the deployment of an entire strike force. Battle-worn as it is, Strike Force Zyphos could be put to good use in several campaigns across the galaxy. Any further requisition from my arsenal will have to be earned.
But I... Typical.
Very nice.
After each Grandmaster's report, you can spend your requisition to unlock and upgrade armor slots. The resource slot gives you access to the new Knight Reinforcement. You can only unlock or upgrade each slot once per report. Slot upgrades increase your chance of accessing more and better equipment and resources.
Alright. So the way this works is a month, or basically the time between each report is 60 days in-game. And every time a month passes, we get to have the chance to upgrade the quality of the drops of certain category items that we will find in missions. For example, if right now I have 6 money, it's called requisition, I'm able to upgrade 3 from no access at all to some drops. Those drops, though, you also have to pay for because technically they are being sent over from Titan, home base, you would say. So, in fact, they don't drop in the mission, but the mission rewards you with the possibility to requisition these items. So, what I need to do is I need to get, for example, melee weapons. And with the change, we go from never finding anyone to always finding tier 1 weapons. Then we will also do war gear. War gear is very important. And finally, the eternal question between ranged and armor. And I think I'm gonna go with hard. Armor. Armor is really good. Oh, that was a hard choice. Do I actually... Oof. Now I'm questioning if I want melee. Yeah, so I need to think of the future. In the future, it's better to progress this once as much as I can, and then grab ranged as soon as possible, rather than push for ranged and lose the access to higher tier armor. So we're gonna go like this. Confirm. And then a little bit of text. Within the carcass I found a psychically infused seed, germ of some ancient power now corrupted, with foul spiritual resonance. The seed is tied to the spread of the bloom, but it was damaged in the Poxwalker destruction. The next step must be to extract these psychic seeds whole from a functioning host. Just like in XCOM, you used to have to get into people's brain to obtain some more data or capture them alive. This game has its own version too, and it is very smart. However, we won't be able to look at this round around, because this is the end of this episode for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.